Thank you very much. Thank you, Congressman Keith Allison.
Yes, sir.
Keating, we've been communicating through email. My name is Omar Jamal. I used to be a member of delegate at the UN. And I just want to ask you like 2 questions. And yes, there has been a progress in the country almost in every aspect if you look at it. But yet at the same time, there has been elements of deadly elements that's been developing, which could, in times of their occurrence, could take the country
backwards. Yeah.
And in recent, there has been a Kenyan incursion in the country at the border. There is a serious pending conflict between Somalia and Puntland. But the important point I'd like to ask you, even though you mentioned during your presentation the Security Council in passing statement, and you just said that one of the developments in the country is that they're waiving the Constitution Charter at each other's face.
Yeah.
Yes. On December 17th, the sad story is the government were not waiving the Constitution. On December 17th, the government raided a house, killing 6 people, injuring a prominent opposition leader without completely due process. They didn't have any arrest warrant. They didn't have a search warrant. And I personally was shocked because I was listening to you at the Security Council and I was thinking that, because look, this incident created a huge fear, a complete blatant disregard of a basic system that we are piecing it together. So I'm just want to ask you that your silence during that time, I don't know if you raised this with the president, and they are still pursuing this case, even though its premises is completely illegal. Are we enabling a totalitarian system who are exploiting the popular mass feeling, desire of peace? Because when I look at it, I look at the spectrum where the government maybe is exploiting the feeling of the people who need peace and security and establishing a system by silencing the dissents. So, Your Excellency, to us, this is a very, very, very important issue. A complete disregard of the basic law and order that the government ignored and killed people. What have you done about that? And the government is still going after that case. Thank you.
Okay, well, you know, I'm damned if I do something and I'm damned if I don't. You are saying that I've been silent. I am being heavily criticized for speaking out. I've spoken out often on this. I spoke out yesterday in the Security Council, and that got a lot of negative reaction from certain quarters saying, what do you think you're doing, interfering in the internal affairs of Somalia? None of your business. And then I'm sitting in front of you saying, why aren't you speaking more? So whatever you do, you get it from someone. And I don't mind. That's part of my job. But I just want to assure you, I have spoken out about it. I did an end-of-year statement, which you may have seen, in which I was very critical of what happened. And of course, there's things that happen behind closed doors, and there's things that happen in public. And sometimes closed-door conversations can be much more effective in trying to get change than just going public. So I just want to assure you, sir, that we take this very seriously indeed. You know, commitment to the rule of law is extremely important. Having clarity about who is responsible for security forces and how they are given instructions to do things is extremely important. I think the other thing that's very important is getting more rules and regulations when it comes to the conduct of politics in Somalia. Frankly, right now, politics in Somalia are pretty freestyle. I mean, the system of impeaching presidents is very, very, freestyle. Basically, anyone who can find 92 signatories can start an impeachment motion against the president, and the corruption in the political marketplace is really very, very bad. I don't need to tell you this. You looked at the last elections. So there's a whole lot of things that this incident has revealed. As I say, number one is, from my point of view, that violence is not a way to resolve political differences. We're trying to move away from the use of violence to resolve political differences, and that was a very unfortunate incident. 2 is command and control of the security forces, but 3, very important, is structural changes that will reduce the role of money in politics. I would also say that the responsibility for sorting this out is a Somali responsibility. I think it's great that you feel so passionately about this. My question to you would be, what are you doing about it? It's not up to me, it's up to you as Somalis to sort this out. It's up for you to raise your voice, and not just in a way that condemns people, but say, look, what are the structural things that need to be put in place if this kind of thing is not going to happen in the future? Because it's quite a complicated story, as you yourself have intimated.
That's a good question. What are you doing about it, Omar?
Well, Keith, I connected with Keating, his processors, and I sent a letter. To the Security Council.
That's good.
I emailed him.
That's good.
I sent you an email. You were out of the office. You said you're going to come back January the 8th.
Wait a minute.
But Keith,
I'm talking about I'm wondering what you've done.
By the way, me and Keith go way back, so he can harass me if he wants to. It's okay. but Keith, the bottom line is our hands are tied. Look, sometimes we feel like we're a country under occupation. Here you have a UN envoy. He's overlooking as supervising the process of going to smooth. So my concern was, does he think?
I'm supervising.
I don't know the details of his mandate, actually. I don't know his job description. But sometimes I think, does he think that action was illegal? Does
Omar,
let me
offer you a solution. I didn't know about this incident until you just mentioned it to me.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'll take responsibility for not knowing. But if you call me and say that there was a government, and again, I don't have any facts, so I don't want to be saying that this is my opinion, but if, the facts as you share them are right, and I haven't studied this issue, then you and I could talk, and I could send a letter to the ambassador, and we could work on it, right? We can talk about how we can do something, because here's my thing. I don't care, as you know, it is dangerous to get your nose in the middle of some Somali politics.
I agree, you're right.
I can prove to you that is true. But I will tell you this, my thing is to Somalis is, I don't care who you pick, whoever you want to pick, but let the election be the election. And if you don't like who won, then you be a loyal opposition and vote them out next time, and everybody lives. That's what we got to have. Everybody lives. And so what we got to do is to say, look, if the old way of doing things is that if somebody's doing things you don't like, you just get rid of them, we can't do things that way anymore. You're going to have to tolerate your political opponents until the next election. And I'm willing to stand with you and say that. So let's, give me a call.
I'll do that.
And just so you know, this is my old buddy right here. We go way back. But we're here to raise these issues. One of the problems, and I think you probably would agree with this, is that the UN can't solve every single problem. There's problems that are just internal. And we got to create an environment where even the political opponents will say, I will not stand by and see and allow the assassination of my political opponent. We're going to preserve his life so I can yell at him in the parliament, but we're not going to let anybody get killed over politics. So we all just got to embrace that idea. So thank you for raising this, and I'm willing to help lift the issue up and have some people answer some questions.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I do want to say that I have had very direct conversations with very important people about this. So just because it's not in the public domain does not mean that things are not happening. I just want you to know that.